Okay, hope screen is visible, correct? Let me connect the
Yes, sir,
server.
it is visible.
So today we're going to discuss about loops. Sometimes we might want to repeat a task multiple times. In computing programming, this is called as a loop. Common Ansible loops can include changing the ownership on several files and directories with the file model, creating multiple users with the user model, repeating polling step until a certain result is reached. Like this, we can put some package names and we can download the packages like this. So let me execute that and we're gonna show that. Slash etc slash ansible slash hosds. We need to change the host entries. Okay, statement run ansible all -n ping. Yes, yes, it's able to connect. I have a repository already cloned, Ansible playbooks, cd space playbooks. Ansible playbook loop.yml. If I run this command, we can see that it will be executing. Here, Tomcat is not installed. Tomcat package won't be found. I'll change the code. So okay, now it is installed. So this is the code. In the loop concept, I written this code. You guys can see all root yes become sudo. I'm installing some packages. The package names I put it in array list: HTTP tree, Docker, Python 3, Java, PHP. These are the package details. State latest. If at all you want to install these packages one by one, means your code will be very lengthy. But if you use this, this will be make simplified. This could be make simplified. Move on to the next. Loops with conditions also we can put up. We can also include loops with conditions where you can control when to execute a particular task and when to not. You can also use conditions to check until a certain condition is satisfied and execute a particular task. When we can use a keyword called when keyword playbook when working with the conditions in the loops. Sometimes you will want to skip a particular task step in a particular host. This should be something as simple as not installing certain package if the operating system is different particular version, or it should be something like performing some cleanup steps file system is getting full, like that. Like this we can write a code. When keyword can be used when Ansible underscore OS family is equal to Debian, then only should install. I mean, the keyword matches, then only it will install. If the keyword is not matches based upon the requirement, then it won't be installed, otherwise it won't be modified. Register option in a, I mean register option in a playbook. It may be useful to store the result of a given command in a variable and access it for later. Use of the command module in this way, you can many ways eliminate your to write as site specific factors. For example, you can test for the existence of a particular program. The register keyword decides what variable to save result in. The resulting variable can use in the templates, action lines, or maybe when statements. So like this means just simple. If you think generally in the Ansible playbook, when you write any command, right, when you execute any command, right, the output should not be stored anywhere. Okay, so if at all you want to store the output in a temporary location, temporary place, for this place the register command is required. There the register command will be used and we can able to print out the data. Like this you can see tree of this particular folder. I'm trying to print the output of this folder. Okay, Ansible playbook register.yml. Whatever the things are there in this particular path, it will be showing that. Similar, next concept is vaults. Ansible Vault is a feature of Ansible that allows you to keep sensitive data such as passwords or keys or encrypted files rather than the plain text in the playbooks in the roles. The vault files can be either distributed or placed in source control. So to enable this feature, command line tool called Ansible Vault can be used to edit the files and command line flag ask vault pass or vault password file. This is to be used. Like this, we can able to create the file Ansible-vault space file, create space file name. Remember guys, this option can be used to create the file and along with we can store some sensitive information. Okay, the sensitive information is protected by using Ansible keyword service with the username and password. Username password should be protected for this particular file. Let me create the file. Ansible-va vault create my pass .yml. This is for creating. Okay, this is a file name. Last one is a file name. If I run this command, first it asks for setting up a password. You can set up the password 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now file is opened. I for insert. I can write some data. Like this, we can able to put us some data. Let me save this. Shoot semicolon WOQ, save it. Now in case you want to access this data, you want to edit the data. Editing, we're gonna use edit command. Ansible-vault edit space file name. If we give that, it will be open in the edit mode, but it will ask for a password. First we'll view, then we'll edit. View. For view also it asks for a password. If you enter the right password, then only it will open. If you enter the wrong password, it won't open. See. Normally, if you try to open the file, see, our output is 3 lines, but here it's getting up plenty of lines. So how to check this, protect this? Instead of view, if in case view it asks for a password, right? If I enter the right password, what will happen? We'll see. See, upon you enter the right password, it will reflect the particular value. If suppose if you enter the wrong things, it will be overwritten. That's the use of this re-key. Re-enabling the key and encrypt the key and decrypt the key, then viewing the key. Those are the additional options which are available to make the things better. Next, prompts. When running a playbook, you may wish to prompt for a user certain input, and you can do with the vars underscore prompts section. A common use for this might be for asking for sensitive data such as username, password, SSH key, something like that. This has uses behind security. For instance, you may use the same playbook for all software releases and would prompt for a particular release version in the push script. Like this, we can able to prepare. I already have the script. Let me execute this. What is this prompts? This is a script. It asks for username, password, and SSH key. Okay, if you guys observe, this is the problem here. When I enter some data, that is reflecting in the plain text. It should not reflect like this. If it's reflecting like this, there's a problem. Means everybody can other people can know about your username and password. Okay, and also they can get to see that what is the path of the location where you're staying. I mean, like where the keeper will be stored. That's the reason. So if at all you want to protect this, the detailed information should be protected. Such a case, we can edit this file. So here, wherever no is there, right? We can need to make yes. That means private no is public only, right? Publicly visible. If I make private is yes, then it should not be. And you guys can see this. Now the particular user input took and password also took and the things are created. That is the prompts. It will ask for input prompts. Once you enter the input prompt, then it will be proceeded further. Tags. If you have a large playbook, it may be become useful to able to run a specific part of the playbook without turning the whole playbook. You can only filter task based on the tag from the command line with -hyphen tags or the -hyphen skip hyphen tags, like that. So if you want to execute only specified task, you can then you can use -hyphen tags. If you want to skip specific task, then you can use -hyphen skip hyphen tags. In addition to the above, there are two more tags, always and never also should be there. Like this also can be used. Means any one of this and we can able to use. Let me. So here if you guys think, I added tag HTTPD. Only that tag only added. See, if I skip the tag HTTPD, HTTP skipped Git and Docker installed. Like this we can do. Error handling. If suppose any errors are coming, how we can able to debug and we can proceed. That's there here. Variables to command line also we can pass like this. Delegate also can be used, and including and importing another option. Ansible has two modes of operation for reusable content with including and importing and roles. The main difference is that all import statements are pre-processed at the time of the playbooks are made, parsed. All include statements are processed as they encountered during the execution of the playbook. Including and importing can be used to break down the task in different files to organize complex tasks to reuse them. Like this, we can write one main playbook. In that main playbook, we can able to include the sub playbooks like this. Now, how to execute? Let me show that. One after the other. Package available. Where is this? This one. It's the tasks that YAML way. Working with containers, we already discussed about the Docker containers. I'm not covering up anything on that. Then we have roles are there. As we're discussing, first Ansible ad hoc commands are the task. Then post that we have a Ansible playbooks will be there. Above the playbooks, we have a roles will be there. Multiple playbooks, if you combine, that is called as a role. Roles provide a framework for a fully independent interdependent collections of variables, tasks, or files, templates, etc., and modules. In Ansible, the role is the primary mechanism for breaking the playbook into multiple files. This simplifies writing complex playbooks and makes them easier to reuse. Each role is basically limited to a particular functionality, a desired output with all necessary steps to provide the result either within the results or remove list dependencies. So like this, we can create a role. Role is Ansible next level abstraction for Ansible playbook. Roles are various to automatically loading the certain VARs files, task and handlers based on the known file structure. Grouping content roles allows you to sharing the results with users. Like this, we can create a role. Ansible Galaxy INIT role name. Role created. How to see that? If I do tree space this path, see, it is all the files will reflect. Like this, the files path will be there. In the default for the contains the data about the role or application and contains the default variables. Files contain the static files and can be copied to the remote host. Then handlers contain the tasks which are based on the some actions and will contain these triggers. Meta information about the metadata about the role like author, platform, and dependencies etc. Then task we have turns the core logic of the code and it's like installing the packages and copying the files etc. Templates we have templates are the similar to files except the templates support the dynamic files. Then we have a test will be there, that is automated testing built around your role. Then final we have variables. Both vars and defaults are variables. Variables stored under vars have high priority and difficult to override. Let me do one project here. I have already is there here. Ansible roles. Apache role. Apache role is there. Okay. Ansible from playbook. Run setup.yml. Okay, now Apache Docker installed in the remote machines effectively. That's a use case of the roles. See, I'm getting the output. Website is hosted. Some small website I hosted. See, how did you host it? This means using role. Then final we have a last concept tower is there, but we cannot do to do tower. I mean tower required a higher configuration. I'll share the video with you guys. You can able to review this video and you can go through that. Okay, I'll share the document also with respect to Ansible Tower, but I'll explain what is Ansible Tower. First, ad hoc commands, a playbook, a role, then we have a tower. What is the significance of tower? Nothing but as a DevOps engineer, we used to do multiple things on the Ansible, right? So generally, like each and every day, developers need to work on something on the playbook. Then, but developers does not have an access to execute anything on the Ansible server. For such a use cases, if at all they want to do task right, how they'll do? Every time they cannot reach out to DevOps engineer, right? That's the reason even company cannot provide dedicated build engineer, correct? For such a use case, for that reason, Ansible Tower is came into picture. Ansible Tower is a web-based user interface for Ansible, developed by the company behind the Ansible project. It provides an easy-to-use dashboard, role-based access control, so that it's easier to allow individual teams to access the use of Ansible for their entire deployments without having to rely on the dedicated build engineers DevOps teams to do it for them. Before you begin installing Ansible Tower, there are some prerequisites that you should follow. Supported operating system, if we think Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 and 8 and 8.9, above 8 or 9 will be supported. One thing. Ansible Tower 3.7 version can be installed. The Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7.7 or later should be used, and CentOS 7.7 should be used. 2 CPU cores is required, and 4 GB memory is required. Out of the 20 GB hard disk also required. 64 bit supported. But this all the configuration, if you want to take in AWS account, right, it will be too costly. Means it will contain many things. This is the steps we need to follow for installing the Ansible Tower. Once installed and all things, post that you can able to answer these questions. These are the famous interview questions people will ask in the interview. What I mean, you can refer the questions. What is Ansible? What are the components are there in Ansible? Like this, some questions is that you guys can able to go through that. Okay. Any questions on this? Any questions or confusions? That's about the Ansible. So in the next class, we will discuss about Terraform. The next class will discuss about the Terraform. Let me know if any questions or confusions. Okay, I can terminate these two servers. The servers what I created, I can terminate these two servers. Only I can retain control machine. I'll stop the server. Okay, cool then. Thank you so much.